So I mean, they got to create cap space. Are they going to bring back Evander Kane? The one thing that's getting talked about a lot, like probably even more than I wish it was, is the future of Jesse Puljujarvi as an Oiler. I got a funky, fresh feeling he is not going to be here next fall.
How do you feel?
I will need to see the trade. I have a hard time imagining the Oilers winning it, though.
So I'm all for keeping Puljujarvi, but it can't be at an egregious number because the player still hasn't proven himself. And I know everyone's going to say, but he's a half a point a per game guy. But that he was hot out of the gates playing with Connor McDavid. So that always gets skewed, the Connor effect. But anyways, how was he the last 52 games?
Some would say maybe COVID.
Sure.
Injury.
Well, at least that's what Ken Hall and Jay Woodcroft said.
Yeah, of course. But you have to factor that in though, right?
Is he going to make himself a value contract or is he going to make himself a market rate contract? I think is the key question.
If he goes to arbitration, then we have to part ways.
If he goes to arbitration, I would think you'd have a leg up because what did he do really?
Well,
scored 12 goals.
They view arbitration as $100,000 a point. So they're going to appoint him somewhere around $4 million, whether it be 3.5 to 4. Well, that's too much. So like if he's willing to come on another bridge and it's below $2.5 million a year, it's both sides are taking a gamble and that's equal footing. But if it's dig in and they want money, then you have to move on.
And here's the thing with, both sides taking a gamble, what we know about their history together, I'm not entirely sold on the player being like, yeah, I'll take a gamble on Edmonton. He should, because he could get top 6 minutes, play with McDavid and Draisaitl. I'm just not 100% sure if Puljujarvi's going to sit there and be like, yep, let's run this back for 2 more years. I think he might sit there and be like, maybe a fresh start makes sense.
Let me ask you this.
From an Oilers perspective, could they not just say, who fucking cares what you want?
But then you run the risk of going to arbitration.
But they're going to lose this trade.
Nothing.
You're going to lose this trade.
But if we go to ARB, we lose him for nothing. Or you try to sign him, or you let him. It's funny. Like if we trade him before we sign him, it'll be funny to see what the next team signs him for. Because I guarantee you it won't be $4 million.
Yeah, of course. They're going to get a good deal. Oilers are going to lose another trade. They're going to take a step backwards and shoot themselves in the foot.
But he won't give us a good deal. That's the whole thing, though. He won't give us in that circumstance, he doesn't give us a good deal. That's what that is. So then he's going to go and get traded somewhere else and get signed for what the appropriate amount is,
which is probably like 2x2.
And the Oilers are going to have an inferior player.
But he wouldn't have given us 2x2.
No, I get it. But like the only play here to me is trying to work it out and being like, we're going to trade you, but we can't do it right now because we're going to lose value here.
You need to come score 20 goals and we'll trade you next summer.
Or like start off hot and we'll try and move you at the deadline or something. Like trading him right now after the finish he just had is so dumb.
But
horrible asset management.
But okay, and that's fair. But if Jesse refuses to sign for an appropriate contract, he's putting a gun to our head.
Sure,
and that's the circumstance I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Try to work it out, but like we can't sign you for $3 million. I'm sorry, we just can't. We're now our window's open, so like literally every penny of the cap counts. It counts.
I know, and that's why you can't afford to just be giving out an extra $100K here, an extra $200K there, which is why like. I would love to see Puljujarvi back at 2x2. I would take Puljujarvi at honestly probably 2x2.5.
And that's like a 60% raise, is it not?
It is. So you would hope that he sees that and goes, yep, $5 million guaranteed over 2 years. I'm going to have a chance as 23, 24 years old to play 2 years of my contract. He'll get real close to UFA after that. And you have a chance to just light it up next to one of the two of the three best players in the NHL. Like you have such a good opportunity here. And I just hope he kind of and I hope Ken Holland bucks up as well and does this the right way. I just hope both sides can understand the opportunity they have here.
100%. So, but now let's talk about a trade.
Mm-hmm.
The other situation. Would you not try, instead of selling it for a cheap pick, a late round pick, not try to find a Puljujarvi of another team?
Martin Necas.
That's not a real person.
Necas
from Carolina. He's equivalent in the sense that he scored close to the same number of goals. He's got some top 6 experience. He's a pending RFA.
I was watching the playoffs and I was hearing his name a lot.
He had an okay playoffs. I think there was a little bit of the Puljujarvi factor with him where he lost his confidence at one point and he really struggled getting it back.
Because that's where a trade is fine. If you're trading a project for a project, because you're both holding your team for ransom in terms of what you want them to pay you, but you'll give them another team, outside team, a deal.
But then I'm worried you're going Eberle for Strome for Spooner at some point.
That's exactly what's going to happen here.
Right?
You think Puljujarvi's that good?
No. What I'm saying is you have a player with potential to score 20. He was on pace to score 20 this year.
I think
and you're going to lose him for a guy who's a project that.
Puljujarvi's also a project.
But at least he's your project. And you put countless time and effort and just time into it.
But remember, right? my first call is to work it out. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking now. We're just talking trade.
Okay. That's so you're going down that rabbit hole.
We're going down now.
I think a real intriguing option would be to package him with something else and see what you get. What does Puljujarvi in your first rounder next year get you? Is that a more cost-effective replacement for Evander Kane potentially?